Sup dudes, it's Snail. First I want to say thank you so much for 3,500 subscribers, that's insane. You guys have been way too good to me. Secondly, in the last total conversion video, we covered 5 different total conversion mods that were all being worked on by incredibly dedicated modders and teams. Passionate fans such as you and I coming together to make truly breathtaking experiences never before seen in the Fallout 4 engine. But there were also a lot of you in the comments that asked about Fallout 4 Capital Wasteland. In fact, there was a point where every morning I was waking up to at least 3 or 4 questions asking why I didn't cover Capital Wasteland. And I didn't want to give too much away too soon. There's a very big reason why. There's already a portion of it that's playable. Because of that reason, I wanted to dedicate an entire video just for Fallout 4 Capital Wasteland. If you enjoyed this video, if you found any of this information useful, make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling generous. This video is dedicated to everything we know about Fallout 4 Capital Wasteland. What is Project Capital Wasteland? Well, in short, Project Capital Wasteland is a total conversion mod that seeks to recreate Fallout 3 in its entirety, including 2 DLCs, into the Fallout 4 engine. Fallout 4 is going to be basically unplayable while you have this mod installed. But unfortunately, as a result, there is no possibility of a Tale of 3 Wastelands type of scenario where you can travel between the Commonwealth, the Capital Wasteland, and the Mojave Wasteland. It's just simply something that would take far too much work and easily triple, if not quadruple, their workload. And getting further away from Fallout 4's core gameplay and staying truer to Fallout 3, settlements will not be included in the mod. They are not going to be worked in, and the reason for this being on the FAQ that the original Fallout 3 was never designed with a settlement system in mind. The player home will be returning, and it will have an implementation similar to the home base in Diamond City, quoted in the Discord as, "Don't worry, you can still have your weird hanging lesbian lanterns." I have never seen these mods, for the record, and I am now looking for them. Anyways, moving right along, it's been in development on and off since 2017. It's a highly ambitious project. Like all the previous total conversion mods we've seen, this is an unpaid volunteer project. People are donating their time to bring us this beautiful rendition of the game that started this obsession off for many of us, but also bringing Fallout 3 into the modern era. Now, I actually went back to play Fallout 3 just for this video, and don't get me wrong, Fallout 3 is a great RPG, but in many ways it does feel like a product of its time, especially with the advancements made by the creation engine of today. Now, you'll notice that the Capital Wasteland footage looks very clean. It's absent of any sort of green filter from Fallout 3, and this is something that the team has actually pointed out that they wanted to get away from. However, the team acknowledges that the green filter from Fallout 3 was a big part of the oppressive atmosphere permeating almost every moment that you played it. While it will not be returning to Capital Wasteland, instead the team will be exploring brand new weather options presented by Fallout 4's creation kit to express that classic bleak feeling that Fallout 3's atmosphere gave you as soon as you exited the vault. And in a lot of the pre-alpha footage, we can actually see this implementation. It's clear that they've put a ton of effort into that atmosphere. Instead of a green filter, we're going to get a lot of overcast skies, cloudiness, darkness in the environment, but it does look like we will also get some sunny breaks in the weather, so you can still appreciate the changes that they've made in atmosphere by using weather instead of a color filter. Let me paint you a picture. Overcast gray skies are touched by the ruins of a society once great, reduced only to rubble. Where people once roamed, now there are nightmarish mutants, feral ghouls, and violent wastelanders waiting around every corner, hidden under every piece of junk. The Capital Wasteland has clearly not recovered from the Great War in the least. That was true of the game when we played it first in Fallout 3, and it is still true in the Capital Wasteland. Here we can still see the war-torn ruins of DC mired in its constant battle between all the different warring tribes of people and mutants within the city. And the best part about all of this that you're seeing on screen is it just works. No, sorry, I'm just kidding. Anyways, no, it's rather that these were all assets made from complete scratch. The models they've made for ghouls are some of my favorite, by the way, both normal and feral. They make the ghouls feel truly repulsive to the sight, much more in line with their original representation in Fallout 1 and 2, where even sentient ghouls were a complete mess of twisted flesh. Incidentally, this is also closer to Fallout 3 ghouls, who, while admittedly were less extreme in their presentation, were not yet Fallout 4's humans with no nose and a throat infection. Along with enemies, I want to put a spotlight on their work with locations, both interior and exterior. Their level design team has some serious chops. The very first location we're going to look at is the Galaxy News Radio Plaza. In Fallout 3, the Plaza fight is a classic. It's one of the big scripted events that you will definitely remember when you play it. And of course, none of us were either expecting or ready for the behemoth that busts out from behind the buses. However, in the Project Capital Wasteland mod, it puts in serious work to make the location feel brand new, despite being very familiar. Metro stations, of course, if you've played Fallout 3, you've definitely been in a metro station. No matter how you feel about the metro stations and how they're used in the game, for better or worse, they will be included in Project Capital Wasteland. In the original game, they were dark, creepy, foggy, and hard to see in. Not much has changed on this front with Project Capital Wasteland. The lighting changes made by the creation engine in Fallout 4 make for a much smoother, more ambient experience when roaming through the tunnels. Instead of just having pockets of bright light here and there sporadically throughout the metro tunnels, lighting actually radiates outwards, covering a wider area, making trash can fires the source of eerie glows across open areas. While it probably won't change the tedium of traveling through DC's metro system, it will at least make the experience a little more engaging and frightening. The next location we're going to look at is the Museum of History, which, if you remember, in Fallout 3, it's located directly outside some trenches that are heavily populated with super mutants. Just getting to the front doors of the museum is an exercise in resource management, because guaranteed you are going to cycle through stim packs like nobody's business. Given how faithfully the Galaxy News Radio Plaza was remade, I'm going to assume that these trenches are still present directly in front of the Museum of History. In Capital Wasteland, we don't actually get to see them, so I can't confirm. However, upon reaching the museum and discovering the location, you'll be greeted by the imposing faces carved into the architecture of the museum, watching you as you make your way to the front doors. And you'll get to enjoy walking through the completely remade interior of the museum, including a faithfully made mammoth model directly to your left as you enter the Underworld Intercourse. Sorry, I mean the Underworld Concourse. I mean, I don't know, ghouls probably have intercourse in there too, so it's not totally inaccurate. Anyways, that's not important. Once you enter the Underworld Concourse, you'll find that absolutely nothing has changed with this Underworld necropolis. In all its glory, in high definition, it captures the original spirit and breathes brand new life into the secret ghoul city. And finally, Tenpenny Tower. In the original Fallout 3, Tenpenny Tower is an imposing structure built at the top of a hill overlooking the wasteland below it. And it's from this very location that you're able to see the consequences of your actions if you rig the nuke in Megaton to explode, killing everybody inside and wiping the town completely off the map. We can see that the face has been remade in accurate detail, and the high poly count puts in serious work to bring that imposition to new life in the brand new engine. We also get to see footage for quests and how dialogue is going to work within the mod. And I think it's safe to say you're going to be very pleased, because this mod is not going to feature a spoken protagonist in the least. The most you'll ever get is maybe a call out like a hey or a how's it going, something that the player usually initiates when you go to talk to an NPC. But beyond that, the dialogue system is going to work much closer to the traditional Fallout dialogue experience that you and I are both used to. The mod will use a hybrid approach. We get to keep the cinematic dialogue camera of normal Fallout 4, which was implemented to take advantage of a speaking protagonist, but it's only going to be centered on the character you're speaking to. It will never float in your direction as the player character. As a result, we will also be getting the traditional Fallout dialogue text box back, and it will have more than 4 options. Sometimes it'll also have less than 4 options. For example, there is pre-alpha footage right now for the quest You Gotta Shoot Him in the Head. That's where you talk to Mr. Crowley and he sends you on a mission to go and kill a bunch of ghoul haters and bigots. To be honest, I love this approach, and I think this goes a long way towards making Fallout 3 feel truly modernized. All in all, the mod looks extremely promising, and in a way, it feels impactful on a level that other projects don't quite reach. And I want to make clear, that's not a slight to any of the other projects. The difference here being that Fallout 3 is just old enough where it feels like it could truly benefit from a remake like this, but it's also familiar enough that seeing it get remade like this is special in its own way. Now, I reached out to the Project Capital Wasteland team, and Dylan F1 was more than happy to speak to me. Dylan F1 is the team's implementation lead and recruiter for the development team. I asked him a lot of the same questions that I asked of the other mod teams in the previous Total Conversion video, except this time I asked significantly more answers, and I even asked to clarify some rumors that had popped up in the comment section for the previous video. I asked him to tell me some stories from the development process. Dylan replied with, "In my time on the team, the story that has stuck with me the most is our team working on the Pitt DLC remake, having to figure out the custom creature process, and once we got it figured out, getting stuck on a bug, we brought on a new member and they immediately figured it out within a day or so. But I wanted to clear up the involvement between Project Capital Wasteland and how that relates to Project Mojave, which if you don't know is another New Vegas port to Fallout 4, but it doesn't seek to remake the whole mod. It was just a passion project that remakes a good portion of the map, including the Vegas Strip and the 3 casinos within it." Dylan's answer was, "Project Mojave was a side project made mainly by 4 members of the Capital Wasteland team. They just wanted to create a small chunk of New Vegas during that time." I asked what was the most challenging aspect of developing the mod so far, and Dylan said the most challenging aspect has definitely been trying to keep work going at a steady pace. This is just a volunteer-based project after all. Has Bethesda or anyone from Bethesda been in contact with the team, positively or negatively, since its inception? Dylan says, "I can't say specifics as I truly don't know. We do try to tread carefully, and if we do have any questions about stuff, we do ask cartography from Bethesda sometimes." So there were still some rumors on the table left to clear up, and I wanted to get those cleared up for you so that you have a full understanding. The first question I asked was, considering the work you've done on both Capital Wasteland and Project Mojave, is there a non-zero possibility of a Tale of Two Wastelands remastered? Dylan's answer was, "We don't currently have plans to do anything of that nature. It might be possible, but we just don't have any plans to do so." So I moved on to the next question. Will there be any further work on Project Mojave moving forward? To which Dylan answered, "We also don't have plans to continue work on Project Mojave. That was mainly a joint effort between 4 members on that, and most of us want to focus on the main project and the Pitt remake." And then in follow-up to that, I asked, there is a separate rumor that Capital Wasteland was initially shut down by Bethesda for using voice lines from Fallout 3, and once these were scrapped, the project was allowed to continue. Dylan said, "The project was not shut down by Bethesda themselves. The team back then decided to stop working on the project after getting word that they wouldn't be able to use Fallout 3's original voice actors. Later on, work resumed once again, and they began recruiting voice actors to fill roles." Once again, a huge gleaming thank you to Dylan F1. I really appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule. This is huge, and a lot of this info in this video could not have been done without you. So obviously, with everything we've just gone over, I can't wait to roam the Capital Wasteland in the best Fallout engine ever created, and I'm sure many of you also feel the same way. And if you would like to stay up to date with what the Capital Wasteland team gets up to, make sure you join their Discord down in the description. That is their Discord community and where they make the bulk of the announcements. And if you like the video and you like that I cover mods like this, make sure you hit subscribe to see more, hit like if you liked the video, if you didn't like it, dislike it, and let me know in the comments what you think about what you saw today. Until next time, I'm Snail, take care, brush your hair, and I'm out of here. And stay tuned because next video, we're going to Point Lookout.